What's going on, everybody? Today I got a DM12 in pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to shoot this video to show you some of the differences and show you how to put it together. I was able to source this body relatively good price, and luckily for me, I had the majority of the parts laying around my junk bins to build a whole new gun. So that's what we're going to do. DM12 body, just regular old solenoid in the eyes, just like everything else, and LPR bolt reg barrel duh. So we're just going to throw this together and go through some of the parts. Now the fuse bolt for the DM12 is a little bit different than other years. So you see this is a 6 through 10 mostly. See there's a little bit of difference in the can position of it. Fuse bolt is fuse bolt, but for the 12 and 13 it was different because they took the slots out here for weight to make it lighter. They had this big can that fit on it. So we're just going to throw that on. A little bit of grease. A little bit of grease. Remember, you can't use too much grease. I'm more of a fan of do a little bit often instead of caking this stuff on and hoping for the best. So the can is going to screw on. Like so. In the back, I'll move up that a little bit. The 20-year-old hater sauce. Move up back. And she's going to go right down the back. Screw in. The 12 and 13 also had this big back port so you can get your fingers in. Doesn't always work. I got real fat fingers, so I'm not the best at it. But I got my handy dandy die multi-tool here that's got exactly this part that I need to give it a little good cinch down. Now, you don't need a die multi-tool, but it is really cool to have one item that has all the stuff you need to work on these older guns. It's really, really nice. The next thing that's going to go in is the LPR. I hate messing with LPRs. Usually, I don't mess with them unless they absolutely need it. The shim stack here, if you mess with it, has to go in a certain way. They look like little cymbals on a drum set, and they have to go facing each other. And if you screw that up, which I have many, many times, the pressure doesn't work right. It doesn't adjust correctly. Inside of here, there is a little tiny O-ring, very, very small, that fits into a closed groove. It is a nightmare to get in. You pretty much have to grease up the O-ring, grease up your hands, and play with it until it goes in there. And it is not fun. It's one of my least favorite things to do in the world. So I really, really don't mess with them. But adjustment screw out, pops. I'll probably screw in there. Pops right in. There we are. So on the grip frame, the screw for the back of the grip frame holds the LPR in place. So the LPR won't stay in unless the grip frame is in. So you can't really mess with it till you get the whole gun put together. So one thing that I get asked a lot of questions about is the UL frame board, which is this right here. It fits DMs 6 through 10 and PMs 5, 6, 7, and 8. But it only fits those that have the UL frame on it, like the frame that came on the DM4, the DM5, the DMC, the PM5 was a fatter frame and took a chip, but you had the UL upgrade that people put on it, and it took a standard board. Well, the NT10, NT11, the DMs 11, 12, and 13 took a different kind of board, took a board like this. And this is the difference between the two. You can see where the set screws on top are opposite, the set screws on bottom are opposite as well. So these will not work in this gun. You need one like this for an NT 1011 and a DM 11 through 12. So we're just going to orient this right here. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Right there. Realize what I said could have been backwards, but remember, I'm an idiot. Logic still applies. We're just going to drop 2 screws in. Multi-tool, multi-tool. Little grease on the screwdriver to keep the screw in place. Works like wonders. One screw. Two screws. There's that. We have the clicker, everything. You see how it sits in nice. And of course, we can make adjustments if we need to. I'm going to fish the wires in here. Do it this way so you can see all the fun stuff. There's one that goes through. Those are the eyes. And there's the other that goes through. So it's just a matter of lining it up. Pulling them tight a little bit, making sure not to pinch anything or ruin anything like I'm prone to do. There's my Allen key. We're going to plug in the eyes and solenoid, making sure I got the nubbins on the right side. There's one. There's two. I'll crimp those down for now. This is the back cap to the LPR. This, you don't need this for the gun to work, but it kind of matches everything, makes it look cool. You can freely adjust the LPR through this without ever needing to take it off. So just keep it on for more of an aesthetic version, but it's nice to have on as a bit of a dust shield as well. You don't need it for the gun to operate, but I'm going to keep it on. A little cranky do right here. There we are. Grips, good old NT grips, they do the same thing. I'm going to try not to rip the wires out. Or get it caught on anything. There we go. Pop right on. Seat right on. Good to go. We got our reg right here. I'm aware there's no battery in it. That's going to be something I'm going to get it set up. Eye pipe. So eye pipe goes in orange part facing towards the barrel. I can't tell you how many times I would make this mistake and turn it around like this. I was 100% wrong. Broke a couple doing it that way. Don't be dumb like me. Just do it like this. Put her in. I'm gonna put my finger in there to make sure it seats back. It is a bit of a pain to get in, but it will go in. There you go. That. I'm gonna put this straight, this old straight macro fitting I have. Most of the macro fittings, if you look down, will have a hex head cut out of it, so you can fit a hex driver on it. I believe it's this size right here. Yep. So you can fit it on it to screw it in. Now this has got a lot of old red Loctite on it. I'm not going to mess with it, but I wanted to talk about what I like to use for these. If you run out of Teflon tape is always a good option. I don't care what anybody says. It saved my butt more than enough times. I'm a big fan of this purple Vibrate. This Vibrate thread locker. It's purple, so it's low strength, or just purple Loctite. I really enjoy it. Less is more, the more you add. Here's also your standard blue, which is great for everything, but it holds pretty tight. And you have your wonderful green. All are good options, but I'm a fan of the purple because I just want it to work without having to take torches to it to get it off. And we're just going to go from there. A little bit goes a long way. And I need to punch a hole in it. There we go. Some of that old junk off there. Get it around. Get around, get around, get around. Let's start by threading this in. The other way, Nate. Jeez. And we're just going to screw her down until it's tight. Now with the purple Loctite, you can pretty much plumb up your system right away. You don't have to wait for anything. But we're just going to do a little something like this. And I'm going to find a macro line to swoop under so it's nice and tight underneath. And that's the extent of it. Just want to show you how the DM12s go together. I'll make another video that shows you how to set it up, adjust the OPR, and put some batteries in it, and all that fun stuff. Like I said, I was able to get this gun pretty cheap, and I had a lot of the parts on hand, so it didn't cost me a fortune to make it. Honestly, with the parts on hand, it's only cost me about 170 bucks to make. When they work, they're fantastic shooters. DMs are always smooth, always buttery smooth, always great shooters. This is going to be a gun for when a buddy wants to come out and doesn't have his gear. I'm more than happy to let him use this. That was a DM12 assembly. Thanks a lot. See ya.